First thing I'd like to do is take some of the tension off the strings before I cut them off so they don't snap and hit you in the face and do some damage. So I put my right hand here on the guitar, take the string winder, 5 or 6 turns on each string. Strings are known to snap if they've been on a guitar a long time, even if you're loosening them. You don't have to necessarily be tightening a string for it to snap on you, especially the treble string. So don't be surprised if one does it, but as long as you got your hand on there like that, it shouldn't hurt you or the guitar. Okay, I got them kind of loose now, so I'll take my wire cutters here, and I'll begin holding the string, carefully cut each string. And at that point you can come up here to the headstock and remove it from the tuner, and wrap it and pull it out. Be careful with string ends because you can stab yourself and it doesn't feel good. Alright, just about got it. I'll set those aside, make sure they go in the trash so nobody steps on them. I like to loop them up like this and so they stay together. Now at this end, if the pins are put in right, they're a press fit pin. Sometimes you'll find one's a little tight, some of them will just pop out like that. There's a couple ways to do it. They make a little tool called a pin puller, and that's the easiest way to do it. If you don't get one of these for $2, and it pulls the pins right out and take the string right with it. Now if you don't have a pin puller, I've seen people use rulers and everything else to jam under there. You can run the risk of breaking the pin off and leaving the rest of it in there, and that's a whole nother problem. You have to push it out from the inside. I think one of the strings fell inside. Here it is right here. Okay, we've got the strings off. Next thing to do is wipe it down and clean it up a little and put a fresh set of strings on it. Okay, what we're addressing here is a basic restringing. Another thing to point out is if your guitar has an acoustic pickup in it, which would be usually electric if they're active, they may have a battery somewhere on the inside, and this might be a good time to reach inside and pull the battery out and check it and replace it if necessary. If not, you can go ahead and proceed. You take a fresh string like this and unwrap it. You'll notice that the holes are slightly tapered and the shape of the bridge pin is tapered as well. Well, you really don't want to wedge that in there to hold the string. The string should pretty much stay in there without the bridge pin. The bridge pin just keeps the ball end from coming straight up. So when you press that string in there, you don't want the bridge pin resting on the ball of the string like that. So what I do is I take the string, put a little hook curve in it like so. You see that's bent, so when I put it in there, I can take the string and then pull it up against the top. And then I can take the pin like this. There's a slot in the pin. Most of the pins will have a little grooved out slot in there. You want to take that and run the string down that. So when I push that in there, the ball is not resting on the pin. Otherwise, if you go to tune it up, the ball will just pull out and the pin will go skyrocketing up towards your ceiling. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with each one of these strings. Get them all in at the bridge. Same thing again. I'm going to take this and bend a little hook in the string. This is on the knotted part of the string. And that takes the ball end and brings it up under the bridge plate on the inside. There's the little hook. You want the ball end forward from the pin towards the bridge saddle itself. And there we go again. You can see I can pull on that. That's not coming out. I can feel it hitting the bottom of the plate. Okay, now we're ready to go ahead and wrap them up at the post. Okay, now we've got the bridge set here with the strings in the pinholes and the pins in place. We're going to take the string, starting with the low E, and run it up here through the post on the tuner. And what I like to do is bring it through and leave slack in the fingerboard, above the fingerboard here about 4 inches or so. And then when we start wrapping, that'll give us enough winds on the post to hold the string in place. The wound strings have these little ridges and grooves in them, and they lock against each other pretty well, so you don't need too many wraps. The low E, I'll usually go a wrap or a wrap and a half on it. And then here's the A string. We're going to do the same thing with that. Leave it about the same amount above the fingerboard there. You can hold it in place with your right hand, or you can switch this around if you're right-handed, and wrap it down. And make sure you hold it here so that when you're turning the tuning post, that the string is wrapping down towards the head. the face of the headstock, because you want each wrap to go below the one above it, and so it goes down lower, and that gives you some downward motion from the nut to the tuner. That's what you're looking for. Now as the strings get finer, it makes them easier to slip on the post, so what I like to do on this, starting with the G string in this case, we're going to go through the tuner like this, get our slack at the thing. Next thing you're going to do is take this string and bring it back around the post towards the middle of the headstock, under the part of the string that's going down towards the bridge like so, and then bring it under with your other hand so it's underneath, then back over, making a hard turn back against itself. That way, when you tighten it up, it's going in kind of like a little V spot, and it locks against itself, so the string actually locks itself against the post. That way it'll eliminate the major amount of slippage you can get from wrapping the string around the post. And we'll do that again with the B string as well. Put it through the hole here. Once again, I'll do this real slow this time so you can see it. Just bring it around towards the middle of the headstock, underneath like so, up, straight up, and then straight back down so it locks against itself. There. So then we proceed to tuning the guitar. We'll go ahead and do that right now. I don't have a tuning fork or a pitch pipe here, so I'm going to set my tuner on E. So you just bring it up and match the pitch. We'll do the other string below E. You can actually go through and do each one, but I'm going to go ahead and just kind of do it by ear for now to make it quicker. So we want to get the thing up in tune. That was the sound of the strings settling down at the bridge saddle. Don't be afraid if you hear a bunch of creaks and pops as the bridge settles in. We should be pretty close to being in tune. There, okay, the guitar's in tune now. And the next thing we're going to do is address these loose ends. You don't want to put one of these through your eyeball, so the thing to do is to cut them off. Take the end cutters here. There's a couple ways we can do this. Some people like to cut them in close, like so. Snip them off like that. And then you take a pair of needle nose pliers and grab it and put a right angle bend in it down towards the headstock. And that'll keep you from hurting yourself on those sharp ends. There you go, and you can see that. There's no stabbing. Okay, in tuning the thing, I'm going to get a reference pitch here to tune the guitar. It's real important as you're going along tuning each string to stretch it. That's where a lot of tuning problems come in. I'm going to shut this off. If you don't stretch it completely, the strings will continue to go flat till they get seated, and it's a good idea to do it every day when you take it out of the case. When you're going to tune it, make sure you stretch it. And if you stretch each one individually and continue to pull it till you can no longer pull it out of tune, then you're done.